Welcome back to CloudOps Lab. This is episode 10 of the DevOps Foundations series. In the earlier episodes, we moved from CI/CD into GitHub Actions, Docker, AWS deployment, and Kubernetes basics. Now we are continuing the same beginner-friendly path with a beginner DevOps learning roadmap. This is the final episode in the first DevOps Foundations series. The goal now is to turn everything into a practical roadmap you can follow without getting overwhelmed. The goal of this episode is not to memorize every command. The goal is to understand the mental model so the tools become easier to learn later. When you learn DevOps, always ask 3 questions. What problem does this tool solve? Where does it fit in the path from code to production? And what should I check before trusting it in a real release? For a beginner DevOps learning roadmap, those questions are the difference between copying commands and actually understanding the workflow. Concept 1. Phase 1. Fundamentals. Start with Git, basic Linux commands, networking basics, and how web applications run. These are the foundations under every DevOps tool. Concept 2. Phase 2. CI/CD. Learn how changes are checked automatically. Build a GitHub Actions workflow that installs dependencies, runs tests, and builds an artifact. Concept 3. Containers. Learn Docker by writing a Docker file, building an image, running it locally, and pushing it to a registry. This makes deployment much easier to understand. Concept 4. Cloud and infrastructure. Learn one cloud platform well enough to deploy a small app. Then learn infrastructure as code with Terraform so your environment is repeatable. Concept 5. Operations. Learn monitoring, logging, alerts, health checks, and incident basics. DevOps includes operating software after release, not just deploying it. Now let us connect this to the full DevOps chain. Code still starts in Git. A pipeline still checks the code. Docker still gives us a repeatable artifact. Cloud and Kubernetes still run the application. But a beginner DevOps learning roadmap helps us manage the next layer of reliability. This is why DevOps is not one tool. It is a system of habits. You want changes to be visible. You want infrastructure to be repeatable. You want releases to be automated. You want failures to be easy to investigate. You want learning projects to look like small versions of real production systems. Here is the beginner checklist for this topic. 1. Build one small app or use a simple sample app. 2. Put the code in GitHub. 3. Create a CI workflow. 4. Dockerize the app. 5. Push the image to a registry. 6. Deploy it to a cloud or Kubernetes lab. 7. Add logs, metrics, and a health check. 8. Write a README explaining the full path from code to production. 9. Use that project as your portfolio story. If you can explain these points in your own words, you are no longer just watching DevOps tutorials. You are building a practical mental model. Before we finish, remember this. You do not need to become an expert in every tool immediately. Start with the workflow, then learn the commands, then build small projects, then improve the setup one piece at a time. This completes the first DevOps Foundation series. The next series can turn each topic into hands-on labs and portfolio projects.
If you want the free DevOps Foundations checklist, check the link in the description. Subscribe to CloudOps Lab and comment Roadmap if you want a follow-up hands-on lab for this topic. DevOps becomes easier when every tool has a clear job in the system